Joining me now to discuss is CNN legal analyst Shan Wu. So this is, you could look at this, Shan, I suppose, as a Republicans' kind of last shot in the lame duck session before they give up control of committees and subpoena power to Democrats in the news session. Comey has said, listen, I'll testify, I just won't do it in private. I want it to be in public, so there's a record of this. Can he force that during this lame duck session with Republicans still in control?
Yeah, I don't think he can legally force it. He can fight back through his lawyers saying there's an abusive process, but I think politically he may be able to force it. I mean, it's a very smart and savvy move on him, reflecting his skills in those areas, because, of course, if he's behind closed doors, they can selectively leak it and spin it the way they want, but if he's in public, they can't do that, and they don't want to give James Comey a public platform. That is not going to be a good thing for them.
Right. Well, what are they trying to get out of Comey and Lynch here? What lines of inquiry do Republicans have to focus on?
I think what they would like to focus on is looking at potential kind of a corrupt-looking atmosphere. You know, why were, for example, there's the famous tarmac meeting with Lynch. There's the question of, you know, why were they focusing on this investigation versus the other with the Clinton emails and such, as though they might have been playing favorites with that. But the danger of that, you know, going back to the public aspect, is they can't control that dialogue if it's in public. I mean, this is a very much of a last gasp, as you said, political maneuver to kind of put that focus back on those issues for a moment. But if they let him go public with that, I mean, they'll just lose control of that narrative altogether.
And I always remind people, it's one of those things where Democrats, many or some, blame Comey for losing Hillary Clinton the election by you know, his public statements about her email use, reopening the investigation days before Election Day. Of course, since then, Comey has become a favorite target of Trump. Can it be true that Comey, both an enemy of Republicans and Democrats here, or he was just doing his job as head of the FBI?
Well, I think he was doing his job, but I think he is quite conscious of being attacked by both sides, and I think he's quite conscious of the potential political benefits of being attacked by both sides. He can say that he's really bipartisan.
Yeah. George Papadopoulos, he's going to go to prison Monday, and this has struck me as interesting because he, of course, pled guilty a number of weeks ago to lying to investigators, got a 2-week term. At his sentencing, he issued a very apologetic mea culpa, acknowledging a terrible mistake here, asking for the chance to make amends, in effect. But since then, he's been tweeting a lot of public accusations of a conspiracy here, the Australians, the British, U.S. intelligence, an attempt to undermine the Trump campaign. What's going on? What's going on here? And why hasn't the judge taken into account those public statements, undermining the statement of remorse at sentencing, which presumably helped him get a lighter sentence?
Yeah, he is either getting some terrible advice or he's just not taking any advice. It's very crazy for him to be tweeting that way. He has no chance at all of arguing that there's something wrong with the sentence or that there's an appealable issue. He's waived that. There's very specific language between a judge and a defendant telling them that they can't appeal it unless it's an illegal sentence. I think the judge here was probably just focusing on what's in front of the judge, which is whether or not he's going to have to start serving his sentence. The tremendous risk he runs, of course, is that the special counsel could say, look, we think you're breaching the plea agreement. Maybe you're not accepting responsibility. Maybe you're not actually saying that you met the standards for the false statements. Let's reopen it, go back to square one, we're looking at a 5-year felony.
Right. That's a risk. Shan Wu, thanks very much for taking the time this day.
Sure thing. Good to see you, Jim.